hang out and surprise a bird on a bird bath.
Yeah, it's never fun when somebody jumps on you while you're taking a bath.
That's right. And of course, the most important thing, one of the more important things with bird bath is put it where you can watch the birds.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so that's why bird baths tend to be about waist height, because often you put it in a garden, and if it's on the ground, that's the most natural place for birds to find water. Actually, that's where we keep our lakes and streams, on the ground. But it's harder to watch them there. So we have higher bird baths, waist high, which will be safer from predators too. And then we have hanging bird baths that can be used in order to get it way up, but it's the least natural, and it can take the birds the longest to approach those.
Right.
You're listening to the Bird Talk guys, Dean and Scott with Bird Talk on 710 KNUS, 990 KRKS. We'd love to talk with you today. 303-696-1971 is the number. We'll be back after the break. All righty.
I don't know why the Facebook died. It just stopped. So I had to go back into it and restart it again.
Okay. Let me refresh this, see if we're getting a feed. We're getting a feed now for the last 1 minute, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Facebook friends.
Having all kinds of technical issues today.
Yeah.
We need more practice at this, I guess. We'll have to go to a 7-day-a-week show.
I'm kind of wondering if Mark Zuckerberg saw us on Facebook and he thought, hey, what are those guys doing?
Well, he probably read
We need more attractive people showing up on our Facebook.
He probably read the captions and was like, who are these guys?
Who are these guys? Yeah. Who's that guy with the last name that keeps changing?
Exactly. And why are they calling themselves such things?
Yes. Exactly. But this is normally the time where there's no crosstalk with the commercial, and David and I get real quiet when we have the perfect opportunity to talk to the Facebook folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Right.
We should make, the Facebook segments more interesting than the broadcast segments. That way people will be encouraged to come to Facebook. I don't know.
Unless they aren't hearing it. Unless they aren't there.
Well,
in
at
the
least
first
they can
place.
hear it now because the static at the beginning was brutal.
Oh, it was, yeah. And the thing, Facebook folks, if the audio is really bad, what you can do is you can go to 710knus.com and listen to the live streaming no matter where you are in the known universe.
That's right.
So, you just can't escape from us, whether it's on the radio, on Facebook Live, on the podcast after the show, or live streaming.
We are broadcasting to the space station right now, so I'm sure they're listening.
We should interview them sometime. There'd be a big delay, which wouldn't be unusual sometimes.
That's right. I'm gonna ask you a question that I just got asked this morning. I didn't have a great answer for about owl houses.
Okay, I'll make up a good one.
Perfect. Exactly. Yeah. Well, if you're gonna make it up, let me make it up.
It's how we run Bird Talk. If we don't have an answer, we make up a good
That's
one.
right.
And there are such things as stupid questions. It's just that we have stupid answers for them.
Like for like. I gotta turn this down. It's so loud.
Okay, sounds good. Whoa, that's kind of scary.
Yeah, exactly.
Right or left?
Straight down the middle.
Now, Dave's not here. He's out fly fishing. He's taking a class on Euro nymphing, which is a way to fly fish. And of course, the bugs that you try imitate when you tie flies can imitate different life stages of the insect to attract trout. So, especially fly fishing, very popular in Colorado. But the nymph stage is before they get their wings, and they're underwater. So when they're underwater, something like 80-90% of the food that fish eat are going to be those nymph, the nymph stage. My brother Steve and I like dry fly fishing because those float on the surface. They got the little wings on them and everything, and it's so exciting to watch a trout come up and grab it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we don't keep our fish. It doesn't hurt the fish because they don't swallow the hook. It's just a little thing in their lip. You take that out, you let them go, and then 20 minutes later you can catch the same fish. It's amazing. They forget that it wasn't that traumatic, especially if you follow certain rules to keep them healthy. But David's learning a different way to nymph fish. Now, I don't know why he's exactly doing it, because I don't know how he could get any better at fly fishing. He is, out of the three of us, he just is he's excellent at fly fishing. He's the best out of all of us in the family. But I think what it is that up in northern Colorado, where he fishes frequently, there are these beautiful palomino trout, kind of a golden yellow color, and you can really see them easily, but that makes them extremely wary and extremely hard to catch. So what I think, he didn't tell me this, but what I think is he's taken this new class to see if he can fool one of those palomino trout to be able to dine on his creations, because he ties his own flies too.
Yeah.
All three of us do.
So now, does the fish swallow that further?
No.
That kind of fly?
No, because you keep a very taut line.
Yeah.
Even though you can't see the fish going after it, you keep a very taut line, and so it does hook as soon as they put their mouth around it, as long as you're fast enough,
right,
so that they don't spit it back out.
Interesting.
But that's what David's doing. He'll be with us next week, so there'll be the three musketeers.
The three
musketeers.
What were we calling them?
Avian amigos.
Avian amigos, yeah.
Yeah, the three amigos, avian
Trace
amigos.
amigos.
If you'd like to join us, 303-696-1971, and I think we have a caller on the line. Do you remember our caller?
It was Jim. I think Jim's on the line.
Is it? Okay. Whoever is on the line, welcome to Bird Talk. Tim. Yeah. Well, Tim, what are you doing wrong?
I think that's why he called.
I see. That's why you called. Now, is it goldfinches, or is it house finches, or is it all the finches? Okay. Yeah. Well, a couple things, Tim. One is, of course, this time of year, goldfinches not only lose their bright yellow color, but they start going after a lot of the natural foods because they're locally nomadic, so they move around a lot. But they also tend to go after thistle seeds when they put out those little parachutes and things like that. They love cottonwood seeds. So you're competing with natural foods. Now, if you aren't seeing it, now you're using Niger. Niger has a very thin shell on it, and it tends to lose its nutritional value within a couple of months, 2-3 months. So if you have not bought fresh Niger recently, you might try dumping out the feeder and just, get a small amount of fresh Niger. Don't fill the feeder to the top because, in storage it stays good for 6 months or more. But putting it outside, changes in temperature, changes in the sunlight can cause it to get stale. And birds can see the ultraviolet reflection. We can't see it, but birds can see ultraviolet, and on black seeds especially, they can see the reflection of the light that shows that it's fresh seed. If it doesn't reflect UV, birds know it's not worth trying to eat it. So that can be part of it. And one other thing, if you have raptors in your area, if you have hawks, and you may not see them at all because their job is not to be seen while they're trying to hunt for birds, the birds may have seen them and they may be frightened by them, but you should be getting some house finches. Now, I haven't seen as many house finches on my feeder as I normally do, so populations could be a little lower, or they too can be going after a lot of natural foods. Now, you said you had Niger. Do you have other bird foods out in a feeder? Okay. Right. Right, that can be. Now, what I would recommend though is putting up a second feeder. Usually I don't recommend a Niger seed feeder as the only feeder you put out, because having a feeder that has sunflower, and I especially like the WBU Wild Birds Unlimited No Mess blend. It has shells. It doesn't have any shells in it, so you don't have a litter underneath the feeder, and it's designed for Colorado birds. And what it does, it attracts more than just finches, because house finches, even with fresh Niger, go off and on with Niger seed. They prefer the sunflower seed. So if you have a little tube feeder and you use something like No Mess blend in it, you'll attract more birds, and the activity of more birds like chickadees, nuthatches, downy woodpeckers, they'll be able to attract other birds that discover your fresh Niger and come to your existing feeder. Leave them up. Yeah, leave them up all year round, and right now is a good time to introduce new feeding stations, new feeders, because birds plan ahead for the winter and they look for food sources that'll be reliable throughout the winter. So this is a good time to have offering new food that you may not have tried before. Okay. Well, I would recommend a feeder like that would have larger ports for sunflower seeds, sunflower chips. I like to use peanut pieces and millet in it too, for a variety of different types of birds. But if you're hanging it in a tree and you have a lot of squirrels, you'll need to do something to keep the squirrels out. One thing would be a dome over the top that keeps squirrels from climbing down to it. Or we actually have the best squirrel-proof feeders that you can find. We call it the Eliminator. And if a squirrel gets on it, or even you can adjust it for big birds if you have big bird problems, it closes the gate so they can't feed. So the Eliminator is another one to look at that you can. I hang mine from a tree. I don't have squirrel problems with that feeder. I feed the squirrels somewhere else, but I don't have squirrel problems with that feeder. So going to Wild Birds Unlimited, if you're in Brighton, you could go to the Arvada store. There's a store in Fort Collins, and
there's one in Longmont.
Longmont?
Yep.
Yeah, so the Wild Birds Unlimited stores would be the stores to check out. About the also Aurora.
Yep.
Yeah, so you can check those stores. Well, thanks, Tim. Good questions. You bet.
Thanks, Tim.
And if you'd like to join us, 303-696-1970 is the number. We're coming up to a break, but we had something else we wanted to talk about here?
I think we'll pick it up after the break, probably.
Okay.
After that
All
question.
right, sounds good.
I
You are listening to Dean and Scott, the Bird Talk guys, on 710 KNUS, 990 KRKS. Back after the break.
Just gonna say, give the phone number again.
Yeah. I looked at the little red needle and I thought, okay, when we come back.
These breaks are what, 2 minutes long, 3 minutes long?
We have 2 minute at 45, 2 minute at 15, and 3 minutes because in the middle they do a news spot.
Okay.
So 6 commercials, 1 news spot.
So do we want to do? We got to get that sponsor thing in for
Right.
the Pizza Palace.
Yeah. So we should start off with that.
Yeah.
And then back to the bird food sale. And letting people know that my WBU has a sale too.
Yeah. Okay. Then if we have time, we'll do that farthest from the flock thing. It'll take 2 minutes. I'll ask my question about the owls if we need to.
Yeah. What was the owl question?
Well, it's going to be a surprise. It's,
Ah,
it's a
okay.
stumper.
Yeah, I can make up stuff if I need to.
Which one?
Those aren't owls. That's the American white pelican.
And we don't know why it's in your backyard. Strange.
But isn't it a hoot?
I can't see it up there. Yeah, that's the owl, the screech owl box up there, right?
Yeah.
What's that big one next to it? I can't see it.
Wood duck.
The wood duck, yeah.
Yeah.
How much wood would a wood duck duck and a wood duck could duck wood?
You ought to check the YouTube videos of wood ducks, babies getting shoved out of the hole
Yeah.
and floating 20 feet down to the
I
ground.
think I've seen that before. They're kind of graceful, right? They just
Yeah.
kind of.
Big feet. Well, welcome back to Bird Talk. You are listening to the Bird Talk guys, Scott and Dean. Dave will be back next week with us. There will be 3. Count them. Triple your pleasure, triple your fun.
We're gonna
And-
have to get a wide-angle lens because I don't think we'll fit all. on the camera.
That's true. Yeah, we just won't put the seed here.
There you
and
go.
Turn to the side, then we can show up on Facebook Live that way. If you want to get a fright for October for Halloween, tune in to Facebook Live.
There you
Watch
go.
us. Yeah. So we wanted to talk about a new neighbor at Wild Birds Unlimited in Denver.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. We have a new restaurant that just opened up right next door to us. It's called the Pizza Pasta Villa.
I wonder what they serve.
I think it's Polish food.
Oh,
But no, it's super excited to have them as a new neighbor. They just went in about, I think, 2 weeks ago, and I think I've eaten there like 4 times.
Oh, my goodness,
So it's
yeah.
already starting to show on the waistline.
that's great.
But yeah, they've got pizzas, they've got a stone oven pizza capability there, they've got pastas, they've got great salads. So far, everything that we've tried there has been fantastic. So
Stone oven, that's where they put marijuana edibles on the top.
I don't think they offer that there. It's
No.
probably down the street, but
Yeah, they shouldn't.
although that's probably a pretty good idea. Pizza with edibles in it?
Yeah, not next door to Wild Birds
No,
Unlimited.
no, somewhere else. But I encourage you guys to stop by there. They're open generally from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. during the week. They're usually open till 9:30 on the weekend. We do have $2 off coupons here at the Wild Birds Unlimited in Denver. So if you're looking for a little bit of bird food and then a little bit of human food and get a discount on both, you can hit the bird food sale, and then you get $2 off at the Pizza Palace. So
It's amazing how many people do that. Theyll stop in, they'll pick up the bird food, put it in the car, come back, and go to the Pizza Pasta Villa
via
and be able to dine there or take out and
plus they have a great patio out there, so
Yep.
it's on a nice day. It's
right around the courtyard.
Yeah, it's a great place to be. So
So that's
best of luck
next
to them.
to the Wild Birds Unlimited in Denver. And of course, tell them the Bird Talk guy sent you.
of course.
If you'd like to join us, 303-696-1971. We've got a special going on during the sale, too. And this is the traditional Wild Birds Unlimited calendar. So you want to check that out. And with what, a $50 purchase?
$50 purchase, yeah, you get the
Or
calendar
more.
for free. Or
Yeah.
more, yeah. Feel
Yeah.
free to spend more if you'd like.
And with it going on 2 weeks, you can actually come in several times, pick up calendars, and spend $50 each time. pick
You
up
can.
another
You
calendar.
can. If you take a look at the back, some of the pictures here, beautiful pictures in this year's calendar. What do we have there? An Oriole, an American Goldfinch, Cardinal.
Flicker.
What's that guy right
And this
there?
is a Western flicker.
Can't tell that guy. It's a little small.
That guy, yeah, that's a yellow-rumped warbler.
Oh, the
Okay.
yellow-rumped warbler.
Yeah, the pictures on the back are real tiny. But
Yeah.
they-
There's a flicker.
Northern flicker, and actually, yeah, that's an eastern one. But we have flickers here. Northern cardinal, the black phoebe. That's a southwestern bird.
Cute.
They're pretty cool.
Hummingbird, of course. Yeah, this is everybody loves these calendars. We only get them at this time of year, and we'll be offering those for purchases of $50 or more. You can get one for free while supplies last. So
Piloted woodpecker, Baltimore Oriole.
come in when you can to pick that up before we run out.
Tough to titmouse.
I did get a question this morning,
Yes.
and I didn't have a great answer, and I figured
Okay.
I'd maybe ask the expert sitting next to
Alrighty.
my left here.
What's up?
Well, we don't have any experts, so I'll just ask you, Scott. A gentleman came in, a younger gentleman, and he was interested in birding and just started, and he was curious about owls because he thinks he's been hearing an owl near his home.
Yes.
And so he was asking questions about owl houses and how long it would take for an owl to move into a house and where he should mount that owl house and things of that sort. So
Well, the owl that he is hearing very likely is a great horned owl, and they don't use houses at all.
okay.
Now, the screech owls, which are smaller owls, they'll use houses. There are also houses, I don't think we have them at Wild Birds Unlimited, but there are houses for the barn owl also.
Okay.
And they're entirely different shape. They're huge and usually have a slot. Also, barred owls will use houses. There's a barred owl on this calendar too.
Oh.
But barred owls will use houses. And during nesting season, Wild Birds Unlimited has nest cams set up in a barred owl house. But the owl that you're hearing is probably the great horned owl. And the great horned owls start hooting this time of year. And they will, you can often hear one near, one farther away. They start their courtship early. So from now through about December, you can hear them. And then they'll mate, they'll hatch their eggs, and of course their babies come out right about the same time that the mammal babies are coming out, which makes easier food because the baby owls aren't great hunters and the baby mammals are not great
Mobile.
avoiders.
Right.
So that's what they do. But owls don't, the great horned owl doesn't usually build its own nest. It usually goes in and it finds a magpie nest that's usually a big dome stick nest, and it'll stomp it down flat.
Interesting.
Or it'll use an old squirrel nest, and the squirrel nest is going to include a lot of leaves in it, and you'll be able to see those too. So they won't build their own nest, but they'll take over somebody else's nest from a previous year.
Would that be low or high in a tree generally?
Usually it's fairly high. I would say 15 feet or higher.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see them along Bear Creek here, and we'll find them nesting. And whenever you see an owl nesting, don't get too close. That's why you use binoculars and spotting scopes, so you don't get so close that you're going to scare them away from their babies. So watch them from a distance if you do find a nest, and don't spread it around except to other birders, because they'll know not to get too close. But sometimes kids and inexperienced with birds people will get too close, and that'll chase the owl away from the nest.
Yeah, that's no fun. I think we've got some great horned owls because pretty much every morning now I'm hearing one on our roof, and then a couple seconds later you hear its mate or potential mate, I guess, some distance off in the future.
Yeah.
So they're having a little conversation, a little courtship conversation, and it's
it
fun to listen to.
It can be a potential mate. It could also be just a competitor and say, okay, that's your territory, this is my territory, my nesting territory. So it can be that too.
Interesting.
So
Owls are fascinating.
they are.
Super
And
interesting.
especially this month. I mean,
Yeah.
owls,
Good time to-
bats, even though the bats are probably hibernating by now, you think about bats around Halloween.
Yeah.
And we ought to have a bat show.
I think we should talk about bats next week since it
Yeah.
is coming up. We had someone ask some questions about how to get started with bats
Yeah,
in their yard, so that'd probably be a good topic for next
Sure.
week.
get a belfry.
Yeah. One thing I was looking at last week, I was looking at the range of the AM stations that we broadcast on 710 and 990, and I didn't realize how far it was that it goes on the northern side past Cheyenne and on the southern side all the way down to the Colorado border.
On a good day.
On a good day.
I've been able to listen to it all the way south of Pueblo, yeah.
Interesting.
When I
So
drove
it made me wonder where are our listeners listening from, and so I thought we'd do a little easy contest
All right.
just to see how far away people are from kind of the Denver store.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in joining this contest, send us an email to birdtalk@birdtalkguys.com or send us a message on Facebook. And you can listen to the Great Horned Owl as well.
So how do they send that email?
Through an email provider, I
Yeah,
suppose.
but
birdtalk@birdtalkguys.com, and send where you're listening from, and we'll keep this contest open until Wednesday, and then we'll take a look at all the responses, and whoever is the furthest away from the Denver store, we're going to send a $50 Wild Birds Unlimited gift card to. So
Cool.
there's a little incentive,
Now,
but
can you use gift cards on online yet?
you can actually. You can use
Good.
them in store, and you can use them on MyWBU. So if you go to order.com or order.wbu.com/Denver or Arvada or Highlands Ranch, you can shop online to pick out your favorite Wild Birds Unlimited products. You can use gift cards online. And of course, the bird food sale that we've got going on is also available online. You just have to push in the promo code FOOD12 is the code that you put in there. And it says that at the top of the page, so there's a little reminder there.
Cool.
So if you can't get to the store over the next 2 weeks, but you've got access to a computer, jump online and go to wbu.com/Denver, Arvada, or Highlands Ranch.
Right. Now, could they also just go to birdtalkguys.com and link through to the website?
Of course they
and
can.
Order there?
Yeah, if you're watching us on Facebook Live right now, just open up the page and you'll see links to the different Wild Birds shopping opportunities. Or you can actually go to birdtalkguys.com, our website, and there are links there as well.
Yeah.
So
What could be easier?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's almost like auto subscription. It just shows up.
Does that involve cars?
I don't think so.
I like cars. And so the bird food sale that you referenced, that's going on now, today, through Sunday, October 30th. This is the best prices on bird seed and all bird foods that we carry at Wild Birds Unlimited all year long. Winter Blend is a good one to try out. This is a good time to try out new foods if you haven't tried them before. If you've never fed suet before, if you've never offered cylinders, this is a perfect time to try it. As we were talking to Tim before, that this is a time that birds are looking for food sources, feeding stations that can last them through the winter. And even into nesting season, when you think about it, the natural foods that birds would eat aren't available until about the mid-June. So through the spring, when you think, oh, the birds can find their own food, they can't because it's all been eaten up over the winter. So this is the time to try out new foods that you haven't tried before. And since it's on sale, it's a perfect time to try it out. Also, the Daily Savings Club members get an additional 5% off the sale price in-store, also online, and we can do curbside, in-store pickup, or even in some cases, well, you
Delivery,
can easily
person-
do delivery. I mean, if it's
personal
over,
delivery, yeah.
how much?
I think it's over $75. The delivery is free.
It's
and a lot of
free.
times, actually, it's Tina and myself, or Jordan or Cameron, someone from the store will actually drop your order off for you at your doorstep. So that's
So,
you get
if-
personal service that
If you're
way.
expecting delivery, don't shoot them when they show up. They've got
Yeah,
bird
please.
food for your birds.
Please don't let your dogs out on
Well,
us.
thanks, Dean, for helping out today. We'll be back next week with another exciting episode of Bird Talk. David should be joining us next week. Maybe he can update us on what the difference is between Euro nymphing and regular fly fishing.
Yeah.
But that'll be interesting, as will the rest of the Bird Talk show. Thank you for joining us, as you do every week. Until next week, we'd like to say, happy birding. Thanks, Blake. We got it
Thanks, Blake.
working.
We'll talk to you later. All right.
Okay.
Facebook
next
friends,
week.
thanks so much for joining us, and thanks for your patience through the technical issues. We'll see you again next week.